Welcome back everyone. Since in the previous video we successfully installed VirtualBox, right now we want to see where we can download Kali Linux, which version should we download, and how we can create a virtual machine. Okay, so right now, if you go to your Google Chrome and navigate to the official Kali Linux website, which is the link kali.org/downloads, you should see this page, which will give you the latest version of Kali Linux. In this case, at the current time, this is 2020.1a, and it is the size of 2 GB. Now, as I mentioned, this is the newest version possible, but I will not be using this version in the course. The reason for that is it seems to be a little bit laggy on my PC, but if you want to use the newest version and it works perfectly for you, feel free to download it. It doesn't really matter regarding the course content. So in order to download it, you simply just click on Kali Linux 64-bit and it should start downloading it over HTTP. And you also have the option to download it over torrent if you'd like. Now, for those of you that also do not like the newest version, you can simply just go to another page, which is old.kali.org, which will have all of the previous Kali Linux versions and their release dates, so you can download any version you like. In my case, I will just use the version before the newest one, which is 2019.4. You simply just click on the Kali 2019.4. And it should lead you to this page where you can download the ISO file for the Kali Linux 2019.4 version for 64-bit and 32-bit machine. Okay? So I would simply just download Kali Linux 2019.4 and use this ISO file in order to continue the installation. If you want to use the newest version, well, then you download this Kali Linux 64-bit or Kali Linux 32-bit depending on your machine, but you are most likely going to have a 64-bit machine. So once you click on it, as we can see in just a few seconds, it should start downloading it, but I'm not going to wait for this because I already have the ISO file downloaded, so I will just cancel this installation. I will navigate to my VirtualBox and let's see how we can use the ISO file in combination with VirtualBox to create a Kali Linux virtual machine. Also, you might have noticed that I already have a couple Kali Linux machines installed right here. I'm going to use this one for the actual course, but I will show you how you can proceed with the installation of the newest version since it just came out, and it has some different options during the installation that you might get confused with. So let's cover that as well. You simply just click on the new button, which will create a new virtual machine. It should pop up with this window where it will ask you for the name and operating system. You can name it anything you want. I will name it New Kali. Set the type of the operating system to be Linux and the version to be Debian 64-bit in case you downloaded the 64-bit version of Kali Linux. Now, the reason we use Debian is because Kali Linux is Debian based, therefore we choose this option. Click here on Next, and here it will ask you for the memory size or the RAM memory that you want to allocate to your virtual machine. I would advise you not to go below the 1 GB of RAM, but you can also go up to the 4, 5, maybe even 8 GB of RAM, depending on your actual machine. Okay, so I will just leave it on 1 GB. We want to leave the option Create a Virtual Hard Disk now. Click on Create. Also leave it on VirtualBox Disk Image. Click on Next. And we want to set Dynamically Allocated. Here you allocate the amount of memory you want to give from your hard disk to the virtual machine, and you should not go below 20 GB, especially in the newest version, which allows you to download and install a bunch of different softwares used for ethical hacking. So I'm just going to leave it on 20 GB and click on Create, and we can see the new Kali has been added. Now, before we proceed with the installation of the Kali Linux, in the next video, we need to change a few of the settings inside of this machine. So select your machine that you just created, click on Settings, and under the Storage Settings, you want to navigate to the controller IDE, delete this empty part by right-clicking on it and clicking Remove Attachment, click on Remove, and then you want to click on this circle with a plus. Add the version of Kali Linux that you downloaded. In this case, I have the 2019.4 and 2020.1a, and I'm just going to show you for the purpose of this tutorial the 2020.1a. Click on Choose. Now, another thing that you might want to consider in case you cannot see them right here, you can go onto the Add and simply just find the ISO file that you downloaded inside of your PC wherever you saved it. Okay? So let's click on cancel. And also another thing that you want to change is under the network settings, you want to go to the attached to and click on bridged adapter. Also make sure that you leave it on the Ethernet cable connection, since wireless adapters know to actually present problem inside of Kali Linux, and most of them aren't even supported. Therefore, you might actually have problem connected to the internet if you connect over wireless adapter. That's why it is always the best idea to use Ethernet cable. Okay, so once you finish all of that, click on OK, and your new Kali Linux machine is ready for the installation. So we're going to continue with that in the next video. We're going to pass through all of the steps, and then we are ready to jump into the coding sections of this course. Now keep in mind that even after the installation, there are a few things that you should do with Kali Linux. I will make sure to leave all of the links below so we don't waste time explaining the Kali Linux and explaining the command line, and instead we can just focus on the coding parts of the course. Okay, so thank you for watching this tutorial, and I will see you in the next lecture. Bye!